surveillance cameras, subliminal messages in advertising, microchip implants directing our behavior. Welcome to the wired world.
Whenever you activate an internet connection, whenever you pick up the telephone, whenever you use your mobile, use your bank machine, these are all instances where a surveillance mechanism will be engaged.
There was a voice saying to me one morning, "Good morning, Kathy," and woke me up. That's nothing that I created. This is external. It sounds electronic.
Once you get into this and you realize the magnitude of which we are being constantly induced into various kinds of behavior, value systems and so forth, this runs the show.
With the acceleration in the growth of technology, the fear has grown that we have become slaves to the wired world. Conspiracy theorists believe this technological change is a direct threat to personal privacy and freedom.
As we've engaged digital technology, as we've introduced it into more and more aspects of our lives, we've increased the opportunity for surveillance. There's more opportunity now for government agencies, private sector bodies to work together to engineer privacy into extinction.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs.
There's nothing new in using technology to influence people's behavior. But the crudest form of this took place in the 1950s with experiments that encoded subliminal messages into advertisements.
Subliminal messages are things we perceive at a non-conscious, non-cognitive level. We've learned how to use this in order to sell people, to train people, to educate, to reorient, to provide ideology. We use it for everything. It's a moneymaker, and it's extremely successful.
The classic subliminal experiment took place in a New Jersey cinema in 1957. To see if audiences responded to subliminal commands, technicians flashed up simple messages during the movies. The messages read, "Eat popcorn, drink Coke." The story goes that sales of popcorn and Coke increased dramatically.
The advertising industry is completely designed to change people's behavior in a surreptitious way. I mean, ads don't say, "We have a great product, we want you to buy it." They don't say that anymore. They have images and symbols.
When you introduce the subliminal communication into a commercial thing like advertising, there's no way to escape that. This goes into every aspect of life. And we're conditioned by billions and billions of dollars, year after year, decade after decade, of very powerful advertising media employing all of the subliminal tricks they can conjure up.
One such trick is the way messages are encoded into seemingly innocent advertisements and product packaging. According to this conspiracy, tobacco companies are big culprits. Dr. Key believes that cigarette packets are printed with hidden sexual images that encourage us to keep buying. So conspiracy theorists believe that subliminal messages actually make people want to buy products. The tobacco companies dispute they're indulging in this form of hidden persuasion. And psychologists say there's a perfectly ordinary explanation.
It's very easy for us to see what we want to see. It's very easy for us. We all have what's called a confirmation bias. When we're looking around evidence, when we're evaluating things, we tend to take more notice of the evidence that seems to support what we want to believe. In terms of the conspiratorial mindset, I mean, this is kind of confirmation bias par excellence, because you actually have a situation where if any evidence appears to support the particular conspiracy theory, then that evidence is valid.
Yet there is compelling evidence to suggest that subliminals are still being used.
Good morning, everybody. Hey.
In the year 2000 US presidential campaign, the Republican Party was forced to drop a TV ad attacking Democrat nominee Al Gore. In it, the word rats had flashed up for an instant.
Bush prescription plan, seniors choose.
Once the story broke, presidential candidate George W. Bush distanced himself from the technique.
First I've heard of it is sitting here this morning. Campaigns take bizarre twists. This has got to be one of the more bizarre accusations. We don't need to be, as far as I'm concerned, our campaign, or the Republican, in this case, National Committee, doesn't need to be manufacturing, kind of subliminal message to get my message out.
But there is a darker side to subliminal persuasion. If true, it would seem to support the idea that technology is being used to control us. Across Europe and North America, reports on the internet claim that people have been subjected to audible subliminal messages. They hear voices or sounds in their heads telling them to carry out certain acts. Those that hear these sounds claim they are sent by the perps, a shadowy authority intent on controlling their lives. Dr. Arman Victorian has studied many cases of what is known as remote mind control.
They can program an individual to carry out certain acts in such a way that that person would think that what he or she is doing is the result of his or her own processes of mind. In recent years, they have been able to identify and isolate signatures in human emotions: fear, paranoia, despair, agony, anxiety, anger.
Conspiracy theorists believe the perps use microwaves, radio frequencies, and in some cases holograms.
I had been meditating for a long period of my life, so I felt like I really got to know myself, and I pretty much knew my own thoughts. And there seemed to be this overlay of somebody else trying to change my thought. There was a voice saying to me one morning, "Good morning, Kathy," and woke me up. And it sounded like it was, it sounds metallic. But they don't use that anymore. That's old style anyway. But it woke me up, and I thought, no, that's not my voice. That's nothing that I created. This is external. It sounds